Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living. My name's Scott. I'll be your host for the next couple of minutes. It was supposed to be Karen, but she's down south doing whatever she does when she's down south. So we always, let's see here, if I can read this. Welcome home. Let's get our slide on the screen. I have to do a dance? Yeah, that's not happening. All right, we're going to start out here with an acknowledgement of the native lands on which we are located. The Eureka Center for Spiritual Living acknowledges that the land on which we gather is the ancestral territory of the Wiyot peoples. This territory extends to the communities through most of Humboldt County, and we honor the Wiyot peoples today. Okay, so let's move forward. What we're going to do is do our opening affirmation. I always like to shake up the bottom one because I just find it to be a little bit more fun. So we're going to shake it up. We're going to read the top all together. And then in unison, I just want you to turn to somebody else and just say, I'm just really glad you're here. I just think that's a nice thing to hear. And say it with enthusiasm. And if it seems appropriate, you can give a hug. But only if it's appropriate. So together we say, we are a welcoming community where the vibration of love lifts us, the wisdom of the ages inspires us, and the science of mind teaching empowers us. And turn to somebody else and say, I am really glad you are here. Now, is that the way to start a service, or is that the way to start a service? That works out well. Okay, here's our schedule for the week. You can see everything that is listed there, and I believe this week it is accurate because Angelica doesn't have to be at a conference this week. So we will move to our next one. Oh, wait. I have to also bring this up here. I'm not used to doing it all on my phone. Okay, the next step. Angelica hosts a monthly Zoom call. It will be this coming Wednesday night at 6 o'clock. It is a topic that Angelica draws a card and everybody talks about it. If you would like to be involved, go to eurekacenterforspiritualliving.com, which will link you to our Zoom site, and join Angelica and group at 6 o'clock on Wednesday night. Let's see here. Better Together. So this is a group that was started, I believe, by Rose and Angelica, and it is just a social group. Last month they came to see Potato Gumbo. The month before they went to a magician show. Well, hey, welcome home. Nice to have you here. And this month you're all going bowling. So if you'd like to be part of Better Together, there's all the information. Do they have to see anybody, talk to Rose or anything like that, or no? Okay. Just everybody's distracted except for Better Together. Let's bring up Edward to talk a little bit about Intention Fest. Is that right? Okay. Actually, Edward and I this morning met and he grabbed my wardrobe.
I take Black History Month serious.
Yeah, good for you.
I don't take anything serious if you know me. And especially bowling. If gutter balls were high scoring, I'd be the king. Intention. What we did, we had an Intention Fest last year. It's an Intention and Wellness Fest. What it is a celebration of the energy that we can generate as a community for healing, for sending love and receiving love from those that we love that are on the other side. Sending wellness to those of us who need it. You know, there are a lot of us who are having physical maladies, and that's to be expected because our vehicles that we have right now are just, they're not finite. I mean, they're finite, they're not infinite. But the person wearing them is infinite. So what we do is we gather together. We do an intention circle. We bring and call forth all of the energy. We send it out in strength to the world. We do it for healing the world, for whatever our intentions may be. And we found that healing is not something that happens when you're gloomy and when you're depressed and worried. It happens when you have love and joy in your heart. So therefore, we decided to make it a fun thing. You know, we're going to send out that energy through love and joy and fun. We're going to have food, which is this year going to be a little bit of a potluck because last time Amy and I spent 2 days cooking, and we're not going to do that again. So we're going to probably cook a few things because we like to do it, but it'll be more potluck, and there's a sign-up sheet there for people who can do it. And it's on the 23rd of March, by the way. Not the 28th, it's on the 23rd, which is a Saturday from 5 to 9. And also, we had a talent showcase that we did during COVID time, and we got a lot of good response from that. So I wanted to combine the two. So for 1 hour of the time we'll be doing Intention Fest, we will be doing a talent showcase here in this area. And anybody who can do anything that's talented is welcome. I mean, it doesn't have to be just the center. It could be loved one, friends, children. We don't care. I mean, it's all for fun. There's no judgments. There's no comments. It's just get up and show us what you got, you know. So it's going to be a fun event, and I hope that everybody can attend. Talent show sign-up is there. Potluck is there. It'll be from 5 to 9. Yeah, because a lot of people go to bed after 9 o'clock, including me if I can. All right, so anyway, that's it.
Thank you. It ends at 9 because some of our vehicles run out of gas. Sometimes our vehicle feels like a Lamborghini, and periodically it feels like a 1952 Volkswagen. Before I forget, Tiffany had said, okay, flowers, we have flowers.
Hey guys. So I wanted to let you know, I made a whole bunch of flowers, and we're on week 3 of the flowers, so they're not going to last. And so if you would like to take some flowers home today, please do. There's bouquets around here, and then there's also bouquets on each of the tables. Now, the vases belong to the church, so please bring the vase back. But if you'd like to take flowers home, I'd love to have you do that today. Also, I wanted to let you know, this is the I never promised you a rose garden part of the speech. I'm traveling next week, and I will be here for church, but I'm not sure if I will have flowers next week. So I just wanted to set expectations low, and then if there are flowers, she'll be like, oh, wow, she got her act together. But if there aren't, then at least you had some at home this week. Thanks.
Thank you, Tiffany. Coming in March, no, not in March, coming in June is the twice, you did a good job of this. Yeah, Angelica said, could I update the slide? Because she had to put the date. That looks good, but I'll fix that, but that looked fine. Our Twice Nice Sale, our biggest fundraiser of the year. So start gearing up to donate. We will have a plant sale involved in it also. We will need volunteers and volunteers and volunteers and a few more volunteers. So please plan whatever you can for Friday, June 7th, June 8th, plus the week prior, where there's the pricing and the organizing. It's a big deal. Sure, why not?
So I've been the chair of this event for the last couple of years, and it's a lot of work. Last year I decided each little section could have their own chair, and I would check in with them, etc., and that worked out. Many of us who've been doing it for a long time are older, so now we need some young people to step up and be trained while we're doing it. I'm perfectly willing to work with somebody as to how to chair the event. But one of the things I was thinking of is if you have neighbors or friends that are moving or doing spring cleaning, etc., as long as it's clean and unbroken, no TVs or electronics, we don't want those, but furniture, clothing, for those of you who are new, this room becomes a big clothing and linen store. the foyer becomes jewelry and antique sort of things. The social hall becomes art stuff, office stuff, kitchen stuff. I mean, lots of different categories, books, yes. Our parking lot becomes sports equipment and pet things and big furniture and lots of different stuff. So it's a really big event. I think you heard last week at our annual meeting, we bring in $8,000 to $10,000 for it. So, and part of that is designated to go out into the community somewhere, and part of it stays with our operating expenses. But I wanted to give you a distance, a good amount of time to think about what you might do. I mean, I've decided I'm going to go through each room in my house, and those things that I never use, box them up and bring them here for this. You what? You will? Oh, thank you very much. Donna has just said she'll chair our clothing linen store. So again, she will need an assistant. So assistants. So thank you very much, everybody.
We do need, as you said, younger people, which, just so you'll get that straight, our definition of younger is like under 55. So please volunteer. We need a lot of people to do this. It is a very large event. Okay, what else do we have? The last week for the sale for all books with heart in the title or a picture at our bookstore, which is in the social hall. You'll see all the shelves and everything as you leave. All you got to do is find somebody who works here or who walking off. There we go. We solved that. And she can help you with that. Next up, the little pantry needs to be fed. Speaking of serving our community, and let's see if I can remember this. Lori said we need to have granola bars, not ramen, and that was all I remembered. Baby food. And Pop-Top cans. What was the other? Meat? Oh, canned meat. Yeah, okay, right, canned meat. Somebody jumped. Dump a bunch of ground beef in there, what the heck. But anyway, in all seriousness, our little pantry gets used up very, very quickly. There is a strong need for it. So whatever you can do to donate, if you have just a couple of things, bring them by, put them here on Sunday at the service. Otherwise, walk in Oz here on Mondays, and she will take a larger donation and sort it out into smaller pieces. I think that is it. Our theme for the month, for the last time this month, is going to be All You Need Is Love. And with that in mind, a moment of peace coming from Edward. Edward, you look surprised. A moment of peace, except for a bit of shock within Edward's eyes. All right, Edward, it's all yours. There you go, and that's all we need. You're done. Okay, thank you, Edward.
All you need is love. Okay, hi, I'm back. I wanted to, I take Black History Month pretty obviously, but I wanted to recognize a contemporary black hero of mine. I watch him on YouTube. Currently, he's about 55, 56 years old. His name is Billy Carson, if you're not familiar with him. If you get a chance to watch any of his stuff, he's fantastic. He deals with ancient civilizations. He deals with human history. And he takes it back before Adam and Eve, which were not the first people. And there's a lot of things that he does. He's an inspirational speaker. I have a little bit of his bio here I'll read real quick. It says, Billy Carson is the founder and CEO of Forbidden Knowledge Incorporated. And that's with a 4 and then Forbidden Knowledge. And the best-selling author of the Compendium of the Emerald Tablets, which is a 35,000-year-old tablet that they found inscribed in cuneiform. And it's in the museum, I think, in England at the moment. But it's been translated by people like Sir Isaac Newton and other people over the centuries. And it's also where a lot of the stories from the Bible were taken. centuries before Jesus. He is also the founder and CEO of Forbidden Knowledge Television. He has his own TV station now, which is a new conscious streaming TV network. He's the co-host of Biohack Your Life and is an expert host on Deep Space, a new original series streaming through Gaia. This series explores the secret space program, revealing extraordinary technologies and their potential origins. Mr. Carson also serves as an expert host on Gaia's original series, Ancient Civilizations, in which a team of renowned scholars deciphers the riddles of our origins and pieces together our forgotten history, documented in monuments and texts from around the world. Mr. Carson appreciates the dedication and hard work it takes to accomplish great things. Recently, Mr. Carson earned the Certificate of Science with an emphasis on neuroscience at MIT and has a certificate in ancient civilization from Harvard University. Among the most notable achievements, Billy is the CEO of First Class Space Agency based in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Specifically, his space agency is involved in research and development of alternative propulsion systems and zero-point energy devices. And he came from abject poverty to being a multimillionaire. Very, very interesting guy. I wanted to read a couple of quotes, before we, if you don't know what we do during this, we read a little bit of something. We then go into a moment of meditation or silence to contemplate. Jackson then sings us out of it. I do a contemplative prayer or treatment, as we call it, and then Jackson sings us into Reverend Angelica. So real briefly, I'll read a couple of quotes that I got from some of the older people. We have learned to fly the air like birds and swim the sea like fish, but we have not learned the simple art of living together as brothers and sisters. Our abundance has brought us neither peace of mind nor serenity of spirit. That's Martin Luther King. For to be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others. That's Nelson Mandela. Racism is man's gravest threat to man, the maximum of hatred for a minimum of reason. That's from Abraham Joshua Herschel. Racism isn't born, folks, it's taught. I have a 2-year-old son. You know what he hates? Naps. End of list. That's Dennis Leary. Change will not come if we wait for some other person or some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change that we seek. Barack Obama. I swear to the Lord, I still can't see why democracy means everybody but me. Langston Hughes. Diversity is not about how we differ. Diversity is about embracing one and another's uniqueness. Ola Joseph. If you judge people, you have no time to love them. Mother Teresa. So those I wanted to share with you.
I'm here to remind you of your magnificence, to help you awake to all the wonder that you are. I long to show you all the joy you're worthy of. I'm here to remind you how much you're truly loved.
What I know is that the human spirit has a magnificent capacity to love. We are made from love. We recognize love. We are capable of sending and receiving this love. I know that joined together, our consciousness can spread love throughout this entire galaxy. That we, combined with all of the energy of God that we are all a part of, can bring about peace to this globe, to this planet, to this small speck of dust floating, constantly moving through the universe. I know that every man, every woman, every child, every blade of grass, every insect would shout hallelujah if that peace were to be tomorrow. I know that this is the dawning of the age of Aquarius, and Aquarius starts next year. And if the predictions are true, we are due for a glorious reawakening. But that reawakening starts within each and every heart, each and every one of us. And whatever we feel, we radiate and we send forth to those around us. We can bring about world peace. We can do this just by believing and just by being the love that we are capable of being. We are crafted from love. We understand love. We understand truth. We gravitate toward it. We hopefully will be able to unravel in the future any of that truth that is shielded and wrapped in untruth. And we will grow forward because we will watch the actions of those that we trust. We will watch and judge by the action and not by the word. We are magnificent beings. And I'm grateful for that. I send this into the laws of God, knowing that even if I do, it is already done, so there's no need. And so it is.
You're here to remind me of my magnificence, to help me awake to all the wonder that I am. And you long to show me all the joy I'm worthy of. You're here to remind me how much I'm truly loved.
and with an abundance of love, respect, and deep gratitude, I welcome to the podium our beloved minister, Reverend Angelica.
Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you. So February has been about love, and I thought we would just review for a moment. So the first week we talked about loving everybody, the agape kind of love. The second week we talked about relationship kind of love. The third week, which one was it last week? What? Agape was last week. Oh, well, never mind. We've been talking about all different kinds of love this month, haven't we? And I'm going to talk to you this morning about the most important love of all. And that is the love of the self. Not only ourself in this physical body, etc., but ourself with a capital S, that spiritual love. And so I was thinking about this last night, and I was thinking about how so many people want to experience more love in their lives. And in order to have more love, you have to give more love. And sometimes that's a little bit uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable when somebody isn't of the same opinions as you, same beliefs as you, etc. It takes time to build this love within us so that we can just give it out to the world freely. And so I have a couple of ideas for the loving ourselves, not the big one, but ourselves. My first one is to start setting boundaries. I think sometimes I don't know how to say no, it seems like. So every organization I've joined since I've gotten here, I've been really busy at doing it, and then I find out that I'm really busy about it, and then I have to back out, except for here, of course. But because this is my passion. But it's interesting that part of this idea of loving myself is to realize how much I can do and when. So loving yourself, setting boundaries. You also have to set boundaries with people. You know, sometimes people, especially as a minister, people call me for all kinds of things. And I might be right in the middle of doing something that I'm really enjoying, and then I have to put that down and do something else. And now this is my job, I do understand that, but I've learned how to set boundaries. For instance, my phone now won't let anybody call me from 10 at night until 7 in the morning. I thought, ooh, that's kind of cool. Though if there was an emergency, I'm sure it would get through anyway. So set boundaries. Allow yourself to look at what you're willing to do, what you're able to do, etc., and then don't be a yes person like I was and still am sometimes. So, and moving forward from that then, you set your boundaries, but you also celebrate your accomplishments. I don't know how many people I'll give a compliment to, and it's sort of, they might say thank you for it, but it's sort of an embarrassed kind of thank you. And then I realize, oh, I do that too. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with celebrating what we're doing right. So we have to acknowledge our strengths and be really happy about them. Be really happy about them. Which then led me into thinking about another one. So it's called Stop Comparing Yourself to Others. Now, I know that as I grew up, I'm of the age when Twiggy was very popular, and I have never been Twiggy. I've been slender, but I have hips and I have bosom, and there was no way I was ever going to be Twiggy, though I tried so hard, because that was the thing to do, was to be real skinny like that. And so then when I would move through my days, I would be comparing myself to what do I look like compared to Twiggy or compared to somebody else that was doing the Twiggy thing, etc. And even nowadays, I tend to see somebody who's really fit, and maybe they have curves and everything, but they're really fit and strong, and I think, wow, there's something wrong with me that I can't be that way. And there isn't. I watched a talk. All last week was about watching talks from the Spiritual Living Conference that was held in Charleston, South Carolina. And then South Carolina made me really mad yesterday. But some of you know what I mean. Anyway, one of the girls, one of the women, young women rather, did a whole talk about why are we so obsessed with our bodies. And I was listening to her and thinking, oh my God, how true it is. How, probably every single person in this room has some part of their body they don't like. Whether it's their tummy or their, color of their hair or whatever it might be. The truth is, we are all beautiful just the way we are. Absolutely beautiful. And that's what we should start doing, is looking at ourselves as a beautiful person instead of constantly comparing ourselves to others that are what we think we should be. If we should be that, then we would be that.
Can I just say something?
Yes.
I have a phrase that I like to use. It's comparing is despairing.
Comparing is despairing. Oh, that's a good one. I like that. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I know when I was trying to be Twiggy in my younger days, I was constantly in despair because I didn't look the way I thought I was supposed to. So stop comparing yourself to others, which then leads me into be patient with yourself. How many of us are, trying to accomplish something and we get mad at ourselves because it's not done enough, it's not done in a short amount of time, it's not whatever. It doesn't look the way our mothers told us it should look. I am not a real good housekeeper. I used to say that everything had a place and it was neat and vacuumed, and then something happened after the pandemic. I don't know what happened. But just in the last month or so, I've woken up and gone, what in the hell is going on here? I mean, there's dust on places where I would never have had dust before, and there's cat hair everywhere, and I finally vacuumed. I mean, I do normally vacuum once a week. Mondays is my vacuuming day, but I hadn't done it in like a month. And then I realized, it's because when I vacuum, my back hurts, so I don't do it. And then that reminded me that I told myself 2 Christmases ago that my Christmas present to myself was to hire a cleaning lady. But you know what? You have to get the house really clean before you can hire a cleaning lady. So I want to find one that's really non-judgmental. So in being patient with ourselves, that includes forgiveness. We all make mistakes, and what we want to do is forgive ourselves for the mistakes we make at the time, and then go back into loving ourselves. This is all about loving yourselves. And so that led me into giving yourself grace when things don't go according to plan. Lately, nothing seems to go according to plan. Have you noticed that? It seems like, you have this picture in your mind about what this certain thing is going to be like, and then you start doing it, and whether it's with other people or by yourselves or, yes, Lori?
I have a saying, which is the higher your expectation, the higher your discipline.
Lori's saying for this one is the higher your expectations, the higher your disappointment. Yes, definitely. That's a good one. So give yourself grace when things don't go according to plan. My feeling now about that is that everything is always in divine right order. So if it didn't go the way I thought it should, whatever happened probably made it better or made me stronger. Sometimes I get tired of experiences that are making me stronger. And my last one for loving the self is surrounding yourself with positivity. That's one of the things we do coming here, is we surround ourselves with loving, positive people. And what I know is that as we move even further into self-awareness, we begin to understand why we act certain ways and how we can change them. And that's all about self-love. So self-love is set boundaries, celebrate accomplishments, stop comparing yourself, be patient with yourself, and surround yourself with positivity. Now let's step into the bigger one, the ways to connect with your higher self. That higher self, even the phrase, ways to connect with your higher self, is an untruth. There's no way that you can unconnect yourself from your higher self. I mean, the truth of this is, in my feeling, my belief, is that all there is this divine energy that is expressing itself as every single thing that there is. Everything, animate or inanimate. So you can't get away from it. But so how do you connect with it? First of all, you connect with it through meditation and spiritual mind treatment. I mean, this is why you're here, right? Is to learn more about your spiritual life and to experience it to a greater degree. Meditation, every day. Spiritual mind treatment, at least a couple of times a day. And you might think, oh, meditation, that means I have to sit in this weird position and, etc. Meditation for me is so different every single day. It can be standing outside with my rose bushes and looking at the beauty and feeling the sun and just being outside and recognizing all of this is the divine. It can be taking a hot bath and just being in that bath and allow yourself to go into that inner place. Meditation can also be sitting in a cross-legged, with your hands in a certain position, etc., and your back straight, and, doing a specific kind of prayer or meditation. But the point is to do it. And when you do it, you're going within and you're recognizing the divinity within you. And then I thought, so besides that, which is pretty obvious, what are some other ways? I'm really getting more and more that you need to feel your feelings. Every single one of them. We sometimes in the science of mind, we get so mental, we forget that there's other parts of us that need tending to. We think that we could just say affirmations or spiritual mind treatments and have them work for us. And yes, they will if you believe them. This is the bottom line here. It's done unto you as you believe. However, if you get into the feeling nature of it, then it works faster, and it works better, and it works deeper. So allow yourself to really feel your feelings. Even if they're anger, you know, if you look at little children will get mad and, you know, storm off or do whatever, and then 2 minutes later they're right back. They don't hold on to it. Where did we learn how to hold on to anger? At what, 11? Adolescence. Oh, and adolescence. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. And we learned because we were watching the pattern of the adults around us. I mean, I don't know how many people are carrying on something from the past that they just can't let go of. They just can't forgive. And we want to live in the present moment. So we want to feel them and let them go. And we want to feel gratitude and let it go. We want to feel all the feelings that there are. Just feel them and let them go and let the next one come in. So one of the things you want to feel is being grateful. I think that gratitude is one of the major tools in our spiritual toolbox. Being grateful. Being grateful for our lives. Being grateful for the people around us. Being grateful for the center and our homes and our pets and our cars and our plants and everything that we interact with. Be grateful for it. That's another way to connect with your higher self. Another way is serving others. I watched this little video this morning. A minister in one of our churches, I can't remember where, but she was meeting some people at a restaurant for lunch, meeting some friends at a restaurant for lunch. And as she walked up, she saw this young man sitting on a stool outside the restaurant. And as she's walking up to the door, she says, "Hi, how are you?" And he says, "I'm hungry." And she said, "What?" And he says, "I'm hungry." So she took him in and got him a table and bought him a meal. And she goes off to sit with her friends, and because she told him, you know, she was meeting her friends there, but she'd buy him lunch. And they're all questioning her, well, why? You know, and some of them are saying, well, you know, he should get a job. He should do this, he should do that. And to be able to just give that selflessly without all those conditions is what really serving others stands for, what it's really about. In this day and age, in this consciousness that's going on, it seems like the idea of serving others, not for us, of course, but the idea of serving others is a bad thing. And yet, to me, it's one of the closest ways for us to really have a relationship with our higher self. So serving others is also seeing the good in others. We don't know what anybody's gone through or going through. There could be somebody sitting in here right now that is upset for one reason or another, or going through a dis-ease. We don't know. But we can see the good in them. We can see God in them no matter what. Which takes me to another one. I realize that this body is the temple for the divine, for each one of us. Your body is the temple of the divine. And so we want to take care of our bodies as much as we can. And we want to connect with like-minded people, which is one of the things we do here and in classes, etc., is connect with like-minded people. That's another way to connect with your higher self. And my last one is letting go of what no longer serves you. Wow, that sounds like my phone, but I know it's not. Mine's over there, turned off. So letting go of what no longer serves you. And this means physically, emotionally, mentally, letting go of what no longer serves you. If you've been holding on to something forever that your parents did when you were a kid, let it go. You know, if you've been holding on to something about your body, just let it go. Let go of it, of everything. We want to be in the present moment. That is the way you really connect with the divine presence, with your higher self, is live in the present moment. And what I know is the more that I live in the present moment, the less I'm bothered about stuff, the less I have fears. It's God calling.
Marvin's not so good with the technology.
Our tech person, yeah. So, and then my actual last one is how to connect with your higher self is meditation and spiritual mind treatment. Your spiritual practices, whatever they might be, are very, very important. And once you choose a spiritual practice or two, then you have to remember that the consistency of doing it is very, very important. Connections. That idea of connecting with your higher self, that idea of connecting with each other's higher self, that idea of recognizing that all there is the higher self. It's certainly a way to love. How come you don't turn that off? Yeah. A higher power. Zoomers, hello Zoomers. I forgot to recognize you earlier. If you're wondering, our tech person's phone keeps going off. And he keeps turning it off. And for some reason, I think that's the universe calling. The universe calling all of us. And what's it calling us to do? To love ourselves. To first and foremost, love ourselves. The more we love ourselves, the more love we have to give out into the world. So I really appreciate us being together during this month of love. And let's say our affirmation. Oops. There we go. Take a breath. I love myself as I am, a perfectly imperfect human being filled with divine light. I claim worth as my birthright and step into my power now. And so let's do that. Let's step into our power through spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer. I recognize that there is only the one life. That life is Spirit's life. That life is the life we are living right now. And so I celebrate this life. I know that each one of us individually is coming to a greater recognition of our own inner self, that higher self. Each one of us, as we allow ourselves to let go and be in the present moment and be the love that we are meant to be, are beginning to feel that divine love that is always being given to us. Always. We're showered with blessings. And so we choose right now to let go of anything that has been holding us back. We choose to step into the light of our own being, knowing that as we do so, this light shines so brightly that it affects everything around us. And that light is love. Divine love. So I declare for each one of us that I love myself. I love the self that I think I am in this body, and I love my higher self, which intuitively I know is my real self. and I let the two become one. I am a divine being, having a divine experience, walking a divine path, and it is good. It is the path of love. And so I celebrate this with every fiber of my being, and I'm so grateful to come into this conscious awareness of who the truth of me is, so grateful to come into the consciousness of recognizing it in absolutely everyone and everything. And in my gratitude, I release these words into divine law, knowing that they are so, and so it is. And our music this morning is presented by Edward. Thank you.
Oh, I decided to bring my big guns today. Yeah, this is my little, I call him little Tweety. Yeah. Well, the song I chose to do, since this is the month of love, and we are also talking about peace and world peace this month, there was a song that I wrote for the center that I performed year before last, I think it was, at our Hanukkah and Kwanzaa and all of those celebrations we did, and I haven't played it since. So hopefully I can do it now. But it's called My Prayer for Peace. So this is an original that was written for you guys.
what was that called again?
It's called My Prayer for Peace.
My Prayer for Peace, and you wrote,
And I'm trying to stop it, but it doesn't want to stop now.
have you talked to Marvin about how to use the phone?
Marvin, you did it.
Thank you, Edward. And I don't know if, I sit in the back because I have to take notes and everything. If you've ever, I just want to do a shout out for Marvin and Ari. I know I teased Marvin a little bit about the phone, but what they do back there, I mean, you see it up here somewhat, and it's apparently going out into Zoom in a completely different format. I just want to thank the two of you for all the dedication and the technology. And we've come a long way from a rotoscope. All right, so let's move forward. We're going to pass the plate. Please donate what you can. Oops, where's this thing? Here it is. What was that? Yeah, I know. I'm waiting. There we go. We will say our affirmation about abundance. I gratefully give from the fullness of my abundance, knowing my gift blesses this center, all in it and beyond, and so it is. Put what you can in the plate. Definitely fill it with love. And I think Jackson is heading over to play some music for us. Maybe. As we accept these gifts, I speak on behalf of the congregation about how grateful we are for the knowledge that there is only one that is around us, through us, and is us. And these donations are a reflection of that, going out into the universe, into our community, and improving based on what it is that we feel, we believe, and what we include in these donations. And for that, knowing that they are contributing to a greater good, I am grateful and I say, and so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you. Okay, a couple last minute reminders as we close ourselves up here. First of all, next week will be the first week of the month. Not only is it a new theme, but it's Potluck Sunday. Plan now, bring what you can. Also, if you would like to meet with a practitioner, as always, the 5-minute miracle, as we call it, takes place at the end. All you have to do is find a practitioner. Our practitioners who are here today are myself, Susan is here, Michelle is here, Edward is here, and I think that's it. All you have to do is approach us and say, I'd like to talk to you. We are here to do that. We also have time for about one, maybe two demonstrations. Last week was really heartwarming to hear Rebecca. We'll have two here in a second. But I also, for people who don't know what a demonstration is, I just kind of summed it up listening to what Angelica was saying about how this all works. We imagine it. That's our connection to the greater. We imagine it. We then see it. We feel it, we believe it, we achieve it, and we are grateful for it. And that's kind of the steps of a demonstration. You can do those like this, or you can spend time, but the deeper the feeling, the more you can see it, the more or the better it manifests, which Angelica will be teaching a class on that. Is that correct, Angelica? We're still doing mental equivalence? Yeah. All right, so let's start out with Donna, a quick demonstration, and then Rose. Okay. Yes, Edward. Oh, and there's food in the other room, okay, which has now been demonstrated because we were all thinking, I want something to eat, and it is now there.
The other day, no, Friday, this Friday, I was walking to, and this is a demonstration, I was walking to the Food for People, and I was walking down the street, and I heard this lady yelling for her son, which wasn't there, and his name was Larry. So I kept standing there. I was going to keep walking, but I didn't. I just stopped. And I went back. I walked across the street, walked up to her house, And she was like, didn't remember that her son had went to Dutch Brothers to get him coffee. And she was screaming and yelling and scared and stuff. So I went to the house. I went across the street, like I said. I went to the house, and I took care of her. And she was kind of like, I don't know, didn't know where she was at the time. But I took care of her and was looking for her son. But then I saw him pull up, and I said, "Your son's back. He's here. He's back home. No more, don't cry, don't, and stuff like that." And I took care of her, and I stayed there until I made sure that she was all right, because she told me her son would yell at her for no reason, and I made sure he didn't do that. So that made my day of being part of caring and loving and respecting somebody that needed somebody at that time.
Rose, you have a quick demonstration for us?
Hi. Good morning. So, we're always being told at the center that the Spirit doesn't care. It has no judgment. It just says yes. You say you want a cold, you get a cold. You say you want prosperity, you get prosperity. So I had that demonstrated really clearly to me yesterday. I'm in a pottery class. And for me, this is a big deal, and I won't go into it, but it got announced to us on Friday that there's all this money that's been budgeted for us for a 4-week class to do totems, ceramic totems that are going to be put up at Morris Graves and some other places. And so it's a big deal. And I got asked by 3 or 4 different people in the classroom that night, "What do you think of this?" And I said, "Yes, I'm all for this. I think this will be a really good thing." And I said to each one of them, "I don't plan on being part of it because it's going to happen while I'm on a cruise, but I am all in favor of it." So yesterday, I was doing something in Eureka, and I'm coming home, and I decided to take the long way home. And so I'm doing the old Arcata Road, and I saw Pigeon Point, which I've seen umpteen times, but something said, "Let's check out Pigeon Point." So I drive up there, and the minute I make the turn, I see big sign, "Sculpture Garden, ceramics for sale." And all the way up the road, "Sculpture Garden, all are welcome." So I drive in, and here is this incredible home, and it's been put together by a guy who taught ceramics for 30 years. And there are ceramic totems all through the woods. And I took pictures everywhere because everybody in class was going, "Well, what does a ceramic totem look like?" So I sent off about 15 pictures to my teacher, and my teacher got the information about this guy, and he's going to bring the class to see it. So it's that simple. I was asked, "What do you feel about this?" I said, "I'm all for it." The universe said, here's a sculpture garden with lots of totems."
Somebody who doesn't know a whole lot about this is now coming up to speak.
I'm actually doing this for Judy Little. She had a pacemaker put in just recently, and she wants everybody to know that everybody's prayers have done really good. She's feeling great. Except Her blood pressure's up a little bit this morning, so we can know for her that she has normal blood pressure all the time.
Great in the afternoon.
She did.
She did. She looked much better than I thought she looked.
I know, I thought when I went to visit her too.
Jackson,
If I may make a quick comment, this is
can you do it from here so the Zoomers can hear you?
This is in line with something that Reverend Angelica said in her talk this morning. It's a quote from a movie. Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die.
All right. Lots of wisdom in the closing moments. What we now need is somebody to come up and read our community statement of inclusion. Donna, and then Donna will also just lead right into the music. Okay. All yours.
Thank you.
Oops. You want that.
Community Statement of Inclusion. We, the Eureka Center for Spiritual Living, are a community that celebrates diversity, fosters inclusion, champions inner work, and creates space for brave, vulnerable conversations. We are a community that honors the unique emanation of God that each person embodies and advocates with people for human rights and dignity for all. We are a community that blesses each other, sees sacredness in all life, remain learners and listeners so that we may grow together, and understands that oneness is not sameness. And together we say, we know our beloved community is revealed more fully when we love each other well. I hope. I remind you also we have choir practice after about a 10-minute break, and we'll now stand and sing our closing song. Yay.